Thank you once again to the members of my Discord for helping me with the rankings for these. We, as a society, have become very disoriented with men having so many different sources telling them what it takes to be a man. But, as a society, we can also agree that there are honestly some things that are just manlier than being manly. And being born a man isn't even in the top 20 manliest things you can do. So today, I, XinoHusk, your designated masculine light-skinned man, have put together a list of some of the manliest things you can do, and we'll be ranking them on how manly they are. So let's get some hair on that chest. If you're new here, then we gotta lay out this tier list real quick. If this ain't your first rodeo, then feel free to skip to this timestamp. For simplicity's sake, we're gonna make 0 be woman and 1 be manly. So your average manly man and your average woman. Now, what if something isn't entirely manly, but also isn't entirely womanly? Well, that's gonna go in man. Now, there's different tiers, up to peak masculinity, on how manly something is. So let's fill in each tier with one so you can gauge how manly each tier is. One of the things that is born and bred into man is to be competitive and aim for the top. Whether that be in games, sports, work, or whatever, you aim to be the best. With that being said, you should never let your younger brother win in any competitive video games. You gotta teach him the cruel realities of the world. That no one will be there to give him anything, and that he has to fight for what he wants. So obviously, you gotta spike him off stage even if it's his first time playing Smash. If you're giving out pity wins to your siblings cause you feel bad, then you might as well be a woman and take that ass to tier 0. You, as a man, should always want to be the big spoon, because there are a few feelings that can top the hot dog between buns scenario. And most men are bigger and taller than women, so if you try to be little spoon, that's gonna be uncomfortable. But sometimes, it's nice to be held, and being the little spoon isn't always that bad. But only sometimes! 0.5. One of the core aspects of being a man is getting your tasks done as fast and as efficiently as possible. And those principles should absolutely carry over to the bedroom. Because why would you, as a man, be intentionally trying to last long? You should be in and out at maximum efficiency so you can get back to more masculine tasks at hand, like fighting wild animals and not shaving your ass crack. And if we're being honest, how big of a difference is an extra 12 seconds even gonna make? You should instead be focusing on making those 37 seconds be the best 37 seconds of her life.
Can I get a hell yeah? Hell yeah!
There is something hardwired in every man's brain to find the idea of owning or possessing a sword be one of the coolest things ever. It honestly doesn't even matter the sword either. Whether it's a claymore, a katana, well, even a cutlass. If it's a long, sharp piece of metal, it's instantly 6 foot! Because swords are where the arms race should have ended. No drone strikes or guns or dropping the sun on people like a bunch of beta soy boys. Battles should be decided based on who was the best at wielding their weapon, like a man. And if there are women watching this, buy your man a sword as a gift. Will probably be the easiest gift you buy of your life. Tier 2. Another one of the core aspects of being a manly, masculine man is opposing the people being mean to you, i.e. the government. Cause last time I checked, the government ain't worth 37% of this damn paycheck. And it takes a real man with brains and intelligence to tax evade. Cause how are we all getting taxed? 30% or more of our incomes, yet we're still trillions of dollars in debt. Man, at this point, they gotta figure that shit out on their own. Tier 3. Working a trade job and getting them soft, sissy boy hands dirty is one of the manliest things a man can do. Cause why on earth would you want to pass away surrounded by your loved ones when you could instead get obliterated while committing OSHA violations? With men 30 years your senior. And considering how basically all trade jobs are 95% men, this should tell you that only real men do them. Tier 4. Driving under the influence is one of the all-time manliest tests you can take part in as a man. The main issue with going Boozin Cruisin, though, is that people do it all wrong. Now, legally for YouTube's sake, you should not do this at all. But if you feel the need to, here are a couple tips to maximize the enjoyment of this experience so you don't take out a family of 4. Step 1. Do the hints test. Hints standing for, I need to piss. Basically, try to make it to the bathroom, and if you can get there without bumping into things and swaying like crazy, then you're on the right track. Step 2. Maximize your buffs. Now, we all know that trying to do anything while drunk is like being debuffed out the ass, so you might as well try to pop all your buffs possible before you even start driving. Roll down the windows, turn up some music, put on your glasses, and drink some water. Do whatever you can to maximize your sobriety. Step 3. Be smart. A wise man once told me, never commit 2 crimes at once. You're already committing 1 crime, so why would you start speeding on top of that? And something people always seem to forget is that when you try to look less suspicious, it makes you look more suspicious. Why would you be driving the exact or below the speed limit? No normal human being does that. You should, at a minimum, be driving 5 over the speed limit at all times. If you follow these steps, you have officially increased your survival rate of the Boozin Cruisin sessions. Or, you could just call an Uber. Tier 5. Now that we've laid out a baseline for each tier, it should help with like the next 15 going forward. Part of being a masculine, manly man is knowing that our boys in blue are considered blue-collar workers, which means they have a job to do. So you should comply and try not to waste their time at all. If they come to your window and ask for your driver's license and registration, it is your civil duty to get it for them as fast as possible, whether that be reaching for your wallet behind your back or grabbing it from the glove compartment. Oh, you should pity them for having to carry around all that heavy gear all the time. So whenever you see the opportunity, relieve them of some of that burden by holding their firearm for them. I know I would appreciate the help. This is one of the manliest things you can do. Results may vary depending on skin tone. Nothing says being a jack of all trades kind of a man than being able to fix something yourself. Whether it's your car, computer, something in your house, or whatever, dude. If something in your life is broken, you should be the one to fix it. This does not apply to women. Go check out my video. Cause imagine needing another man who specializes in something you don't to fix something in your life. You might as well let him crack your wife at that point. Yeah, you might need a certification for most of the things you want to fix. But that's just a risk you should be willing to take. This doesn't apply if you have the money but no time to fix the things yourself. Tier 4. Hitting the gym has become such a mainstream concept that it's hard to rank it. Mainly cause it feels like everybody and their mom talking about hitting the gym now. But as a man, why waste the God-given ability to overdose on caffeine and try to attain the physique of a Greek god? It's also a great way to meet bros if you aren't hyper introverted. I would say the same about meeting women, but you got 80-20 odds of being exposed online for being a creep by asking a woman, who is dressed half naked by the way, for her number. So tier 3. In recent times, the idea of being gay has come under heavy scrutiny from the masculine man community, not being able to decide whether they want a gay son or a thought daughter, or if certain actions make them gay. Go peep my videos. But I, along with many other philosophers and historians, have determined the manliness of being gay. The main factor that dictates manliness depends on your position. Are you the man laying down the hammer, or you the man taking said hammer? Because there is nothing more masculine than making another man submit to you. And we should take notes from our ancient Greek forefathers who would see their comrades with slender waists and feminine faces and had the only reasonable reaction. Now, I'm assuming majority of people know what tailgating is, but for those who don't, it's essentially when another car rides inside of your car's colon. Tailgating in itself isn't really bad. It's more so annoying. But oh my lord, the people who seem to love doing it are the lifted trucks and the BMW owners. They both have their specific cons. Truck drivers will be flashbanging you with their bright ass LED lights, and BMW drivers will do the same while also riding your ass when you're already 30 miles over the speed limit. Respectfully, I recommend people take notes out of Star Wars to deal with these tailgaters. Tier 0. Many men will try to shame other men for rocking the color pink, which is by far one of the most soy boy things you can do in your life. Cause not only is it manly as hell to rock whatever clothing you want, but pink is also the color for breast cancer awareness. And I'll be damned if a man tries to shame me for rocking the color that supports
Boobies.
We're putting this in tier 3. Now, if you have a dad or any masculine figure in your life, you can probably count how many times you've seen them cry. I can almost guarantee it's less than a handful, because that's part of being a masculine man. You're supposed to be the rock that your family leans on. If you show weakness, then that perception of the rock will crack. Oh, I've only seen my dad cry one time in my life, and it was when James Bond died at the end of No Time to Die. Cause James Bond is never supposed to die. Now, I'm not saying as a man you can't cry. If you're venting to your boys or are alone, bawl your eyes out, king. Cause every man needs a good cry at least once a year. Crying as a man is gonna go in 4. This is ironic after the last one, but it's whatever. You, as a man, should never talk about your feelings unless it's to your parents or your bros. Cause a real man bottles it up and soldiers through or takes action. Haven't you noticed that men rarely play tic-tac-toe on their wrists? That's cause men don't need attention. They're solution-based creatures that know how to take action. Men's Mental Health Month is over. It's time to lock back in, boys. Please take this as a joke. Do not use a permanent solution for a temporary problem. Point 5. Begging for your life is a very specific scenario that many men may never experience, but it takes a real man to beg for his life. Because if you have people relying you back home, then it's your duty to make it back to them, no matter the cost. But the minute you hear that record sound effect, all bets are off. Cause I'll be damned if there's video evidence of a man bitching me and making me beg for my life. Oh, at that point I'm fighting back and dying there. Cause responsibility is one thing, but pride is a completely different story. Throw this sucker in tier 1. One of the core points of being a man is being better than women at stuff. So what's more masculine than beating women at the femininity game? Cause it's become very apparent that women are becoming more masculine and less feminine. So as men, we gotta do what men do best and fix stuff. And if that means more men becoming femboys,
but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make.
So being a femboy is one of the most masculine things you can do. And if you're built like a Stofo or Felix, please hit my line. There is only a few things more masculine than stepping up to help the weak. Unless that man has a Glock with a switch on it. That instantly makes it not your problem anymore. So standing up for the weak is going in tier 4. There's something deeply wired into the male psyche that romanticizes the last stand. The idea of going out, not quietly, but in a blaze of glory. It's the ultimate expression of manly, masculine defiance. Standing your ground when all odds are stacked against you. Not because you think you'll win, but because dying on your feet is better than living on your knees. A last stand isn't about survival. It's about legacy. About being remembered as the man who didn't fold, didn't flee, didn't beg, and in that moment, facing certain doom with nothing but grit and pride, a man becomes a legend. That's not just bravery. It's the purest, most potent form of masculinity there is.
Good luck, sir.
Good luck to you, Spud.
And there you have it, the official tier list of things manlier than being manly. I hope you guys found this video entertaining to some extent. For some of these entries, they should be taken with somewhat of a grain of salt. But if you guys enjoyed this and would like to see a part 2, then get this to 5K likes. And if you're new here and like this kind of autistic, manly content, then consider subscribing. It would mean a lot. That's all I have for you today though. Bye bye!
You should follow Xeno now!